that event went on well, but it's like so much of not satisfactory because of the COVID. We are under the stress, what will happen and other things. So after 2 years or 3 years, we feel like we want to meet all permaculture people in the country. Like we want to know like how meet and greeting. That is the one thing which we feel like having connecting with them, and also how the permaculture has given little bit of impact in their own lives and in their own profession. We will also can reflect. So like that we also felt that this is the needed to me, and also now this is the time for the food is something become a precious, and also we are again before the COVID and after the COVID many people realize, but still there is so many issues are need to be addressed. How this permaculture community is going to address these issues also, wanted to have some torch light and sharing of the different people opinions and giving the message to the community to go with how we are going with our food and our culture and our climate. So these three things are the concerning things which we do have in the mind. And then me and Narsana and Sneha, we had this lengthy discussion with our volunteers team, and then with a little bit of close circle of permaculture community. And also we do have every month one meeting, reconnecting with Narsana meetings also will happen. So by consulting and discussions, we feel like we want to have a third National Permaculture Convergence in the year 2023, November. So we decided around 6 months before, and then announced, and then started working on it. Not working on it as such is a long time, but also getting mentally prepared to organize the National Permaculture event at the Aranya Permaculture Farm. Also, we thought of initially around 200 and 250 people may turn out, and we can provide the space for that much of people. Later on, we could able to use other resources, and around 400 people has turned out, and we could able to provide good accommodation facilities with the whatever we have done by based on the International Permaculture Convergence experience of 17th, and also National Permaculture Convergence what we organized. All the previous experiences helped us to organize again such a big event for the 400 people on the farm. It's also big challenging issues also there. One side we are having the farm will get stamped with the 400 people, but because we do have a good resource of the forest surrounded by, so we used most of the space for the accommodation for the participants in the forest area, using the tents and then open showers, and also like compost toilets. All of the things was organized outside of the farm, and also farm venue, meeting venue was organized inside of the farm, where we have an amphitheater. The same thing used as a venue, and also using the limited resources, not hiring from many things from outside, like using the old saris as a dais and as a shade, and also using the percolation tank, converting into the amphitheater by minimizing the clay, putting the clay. These things created amphitheater by volunteers and ourselves. This work has started a 1 month before, preparing everything. Many volunteers has come. Also we announced we want to have a skill volunteers. There is so much of bamboo is there. Those who are having skill with bamboo, those who are having skill with the natural building. So like that we announced different kinds of volunteers. So all of them, they came around 25 to 30 volunteers, stayed on the farm for 1 month, organized each and everything for the event. And as usual, it's like a zero waste management event. um, when we are inviting about the resource persons, when you are organizing a 3 days National Permaculture Convergence, the theme was given um, uh, uh, food, future, and culture. That's what we have given the theme of it. Sorry. Future, food, and culture is the our theme which was given. For that, who are the speakers and who will be invited? So how the permaculture people will respond to that. So based on all those things, we feel like so to know the present scenario also, like eminent speakers, we decided to invite on the first day. About most of them is the working in the different the same sector in the different areas and large scale with the different communities from the different states invited, uh, Dr. Vandana Shiva Sabarmati, and I've been working on the Pani Foundation. So different eminent institutions from the people invited. And also we want to organize the event, uh, whatever the present challenges are, present generations are present, we are facing. What is that uh, like uh, in the regular stream, how they are answering for how they are seeing them. And then the second day we thought of like how the permaculture can be a solutions for that. What are the solutions which we can give to the communities? And then third day we thought of having the permaculture regional networking and sharing of the issues, how we can take this permaculture movement in India to take forward in extensively with the regional and local languages, because all these things, medium and other things, it's we are into the English speaking more and very limited in Hindi, but also it should go into the more into the regional languages and more in the regional conferences. Even in the national conference also we said like now after this third National Permaculture Convergence onwards, it should be taken up by the regional level. That depends on the language, Telugu, Hindi, Odisha, Tamil, Kannada, different states and different languages are there. So the Karnataka has come forward to organize the um, special regional their Kannada permaculture event. So and also in this overall thing, if I can say, the first day more focus on the food, like what is happening in the food sector, how it is getting impacted, and what are the things which we need to look into that. That is the cultural aspects of it, traditional aspects of it. So there is so much of science behind, which is safeguards for us. That knowledge need to be carried forward and transferred to the second generations. And in the same way, the seed, what kind of the seed preservation, there is a one eminent person from Uttarakhand and so his name is Vijay Jardari. He's from Uttarakhand. He worked in Beach Bachao Andolan. So we invited him. We started listening of his story of the seed conservation. Like we feel like something which this seed is so important role it plays in the food, those aspects. And then later on there is a more food aspects Sangeeta Khanna and other speakers was invited on the nutrition aspect of the food, what is the connection between the soil, and if you know about the soil, you will get the good food. The knowing the soil, no soil, what is that? No soil.
No soil and no soil. No soil is equals to no soil equals to no food. No food equals to no soil.
Mm. So Dr. Sultan Ismail is a soil expert. We invited him for his speech, and he explained very well about the soil and soil health and microbes and how it is directly related to our gut health and what we have to do, and the food fermentation, good microbes in the gut, soil microbes and gut microbes, how they're directly related to things. He explained very well. And so the workshop was designed in a such way that morning session is the plenary, and then afternoons is the parallel sessions by the different speakers. Like that morning three, first day in the morning, 3 sessions are being completed in the plenary, and later on continued by the parallel sessions. Around 4 sessions were continued. So one of the important aspect which we consider is the social permaculture sessions. The social permaculture sessions has been carried out all 3 days, because we feel like the social permaculture has given priority in this National Permaculture Convergence. That is the first day of it. And also when it comes to the food, like we have not invited the food cooking professionals, caterers from outside. Like a community has stood up and they started cooking, and they provided the food. It's an excellent food which they got it. And then vegetables and other things also we have not brought from the any of the town. So from the same village community was provided all the vegetables. Some extent from Aranya farm, some extent from the community. I think most of them has come from, I can say we are self-sufficiency in 80% of the food what we have grown in the village itself. We don't need to grow outside from procure for many things. So that is what another beauty of the thing was happened. It's also cooking was done by the community itself. And another thing is this time many of the permaculture people has come forward to support the event. Like small donations was given by them, and it is like, so just we started this one we thought of having, it's like a very minimum cost we calculated, but the budget estimated was around 13 lakhs, but the cost we with the registration we could able to receive around 6 lakhs only. Then rest of the things all the permaculture friends has been provided with the small donations, with the bigger donations, not big like so much, but the food donations, so many things were happened by the permaculture committee. I feel like that is a beauty of it, like sharing of the resources, supporting each other. So someone has come forward to provide the tents, someone has come forward to provide the bed sheets, and then somebody has got the vegetables. Like that the event has contributed by the many people. Similarly, second day priority was given on the water. So water is how important water is, like how we are going to see. And then waste management has been taken up in the other step. Waste management and water has given highest priority. What is the permaculture solutions, like the first day of the food and soil, water, and then waste management. So in the parallel talked about, so different solutions, what how they are doing up in the small scale, with the domestic level, with the community level, with the large scale, how they are doing it in the different levels, like a institution level, a family level, a community level has come up with the solutions. So like it is something like a beautiful festival in the second day. And also 2 days we organized the cultural programs. The first day cultural program was done by our Sacred Space, our co-partner. Like she was the first permaculture, like she did the permaculture designers course with us. And since then we are collaborating with the different programs. And she came forward and she performed her dance in the event. And then second day was given one of the traditional folk art. Uh, One of the PDC participant with her husband, both of them they have came forward and they performed very well, and it was so impressive by the people. Um, and the short, like when the things are sometimes we feel like we are not used to, when the accommodation issue comes, we are not like India is even now also we are not used to have the tents. So renting of the tents in the local, and that become a little difficult task also. Those things, like some things we borrowed the tents from outside of the friends, because we are not able to rent the tents locally. It is not available also. So we need to get them from the Bangalore. So whatever the like a little accommodation which we want to do, it's also when you hiring from Bangalore and Mumbai or Delhi, it becomes so expensive. And at the farm level, when you are asking the presenters to share their experience, we don't have the projectors. Even projectors also becoming other tasks. Like we ask all the speakers how many people you want to speak, like projector, how do you want to make the presentation. We have also given options, like you can, however the way you want to have, make the presentations, by demonstrating, by doing, by using the posters, you can all these things, you can do it. So finally each of the presenter has given, speaker has given their intent. Accordingly we could able to arrange the all arrangements. And some projectors were rented, some projectors were we need to have to purchase. um, some things like which is last minute organizing the things, that is also was happened. And second, I want to share one more thing, because when you are organizing event in the farm, so like we need to spend lot of time on it. Like even our brains as organizers, we are more focused on the organizing the logistics. So sometimes we forget to invite some of the persons also, like those who are close to associated with the permaculture, closely associated with even our professional life. So we forget to invite them also, because we are became so busy with organizing these things. I feel like when we are organizing NPC and IPC in 2016 and 2017, you feel that this was organized in a city. There we have plenty of time to think about session planning, who is the session organizer, moderator, all those things detailedly we worked out, and it has come up very well. So this time also we have done it, but not like a our energies has gone into the more logistical arrangements instead of session planning and other arrangements. uh, so we felt that we would have some more hands when you are organizing, like when you are organizing the National Permaculture Convergence. The third day was something like we feel so happy to share, and Dr. Vandana Shiva has come, and she also like given the presentation on uh, like food culture and climate. So our book is also being published on the same thing. I feel like whatever permaculture is speaking, similarly she also given the like real things are happening in the same way. So in the policy level, at the international level, how the things are moving uh, about the food future cultural aspects. So we feel like so we are in the right path. It came up with the solutions. So many people has to work together as a communities to overcome these challenges. So that's what a brief was happened in 3 days. You can send. Maybe I can ask Sneha to share more on this. Is it okay for you?
Yes, please.
I just have a couple of things to share, Candida. So the speakers whomever we've invited, because we hosted this convergence on the farm, many of them have heard about permaculture and what's been happening with permaculture, but I think this is the first time that they have come to a permaculture farm, traveled all the way to 3 hours from the city, and they've come to Aranya Permaculture Farm, which they have never even been to a farm, which is a permaculture based farm. And it was, we felt happy that they were able to see what permaculture is doing in the communities, not just at Aranya Farm, but also in the communities, because there were also some visits that we made outside the community, outside the farm, with the villagers. and also the living example they've seen Aranya. So this wouldn't have happened if we conducted it in a city or in Hyderabad, in anywhere else. But they were able to see the real changes that permaculture is doing in with the people where there is need. Yeah. Thank you.
These visits were before, after, during?
During,
During.
and especially in the mornings, yeah. And like Dr. Vandana Shiva has been with us during the first NPC and also during the IPC, but she coming all the way to Aranya, though our association has been longer, but this is the first time that she has come and seen like India's first functional permaculture farm. So we were very happy about people being able to witness it in person rather than watching it in the videos or hearing it from others.
And also I want to share not only the speaking, like most of the permaculture practices, what we are speaking, they could able to see during the morning field visits, like even like forest walks and observation of gills and making a biochar, making the soil health, like how the crop residues has been converted into the biochar, applied to the soils. So these things, like many of the practical things, how can we do in the large scale composting, how these things are being resulted, and then like always different layers of farming systems people are talking about it. They could able to see each and everything of it. That is like something, especially not the permaculture people, non-permaculture people also got influenced. So what we are speaking, what is there on the farms, what is there in the communities, what is we are eating, there's a connection. Practical things are happening at the ground. That is what they felt so happy with that. So during these 3 days, nobody was sick, everybody is healthy and happy food. They was given a great feedback. So like a beautiful tasty food with the nutritious, with the millets, with the local food, I feel like something they've given very good feedback on it. And also like many of them, so the permaculture community, they got the contents, like we have a larger community to us. Like everybody, after they have done the PDC, they have a limited group discussions will happen. Once they become a state level network started in the regional level, so they got a great strength at the local level. We feel that so happy to that. And also many of them, out of those who got introduced the permaculture, they changed. They and it like they made lot of changes in their professional lives, like sharing of the resources, ethical living, and ethical business, ethical investments. These things are really, you could see how much we are practicing the permaculture. That's where we could able to observe and interact with many others. As a very good networking was happened. And also when you say any of the conference and convergence, most of the times it's like PowerPoint presentations, but here it is not like this. More demonstrations, more like sharing of the experiences and witnessing the things, interacting the things. That's like methodology is like it's a comfortable environment is there, like sitting on the floor and getting the mats and all these things. And also like cooperation among the communities. Like I feel like when the new people are arrived, all the permaculture community helped them so to accommodate in the good environment, because we are busy with something, but we don't need to address each and everything. But the participants among themselves, the permaculture community is so helping to others to help accommodate with the new people and helping them, setting them, and other things. Like I feel like really something permaculture community is different than others.
That's beautiful. And I haven't been to a
I just want to add
face-to-face
something.
event for a while. Yeah, please do, Sneha.
So on the day 2 of the NPC, we haven't. Most of our speakers were from the permaculture community, like our alumni from Aranya who have done their PDCs with us, or PDCs from somewhere else. So the second day was specifically for permaculture people who are practicing currently in various fields. Some of them are doing good with the water harvesting, and some of them are working. Some of them are talking about fermentation, fermented foods. Some of them permaculture and art, how they both are interlinked. What is the relationship between the art, environment, permaculture, and culture? So we had the second day was full of permaculture practitioners and participants. We didn't have anyone from outside because it's been quite a long time that the permaculture movement in India has started, and we felt that it is a great opportunity for whoever has taken up the course and is in a certain level right now where they have worked on the field, work with the community, work with on being an entrepreneur, incorporating permaculture's principles, how permaculture has changed their life and how they are experiencing it right now practically, is something that we wanted to showcase on the day 2. So day 2 was specifically for those with for those who have done their permaculture design course and are practicing permaculture in whatever the field they are in, even in art forms, dance, school education, how rethinking of education system needs to be happening. So these are some very interesting topics have come out within our permaculture community, and for me that was a highlight of the entire event.
Wish I could have been there. Yeah. And I was just wondering about the language, because you were commenting on it earlier, about wanting to change a bit of how permaculture is shared in the region. What was the language mix in this event?
We had participants from 21 states, so almost there are 20 different languages, though the common language that everybody knows is English and Hindi, so it wasn't a tedious task for us to deal with. However, we had around 18, 19, if you look at each state, maybe 18, 19 different languages. People are from different states, so they're all of different languages. And we had participants from 21 states and 5 different countries, with over 380 participants or something.
And then one for the Telugu speaking people, one Telugu session is continued with the parlors.
Yes, we made sure that there is one local Telugu, so it is a local language. So we made sure that there is one local language that is being there's one speaker who speaks the local language, and everybody who doesn't speak English can join those sessions. That way they're not felt left out. So we made sure that in each parallel session there is one session that is accommodated for the Telugu speaking people. And if there is a Hindi speaker, then there's a translation that was happening. So this is how we were able to manage.
Were there any challenges that you couldn't overcome?
So as I told you, this one, like, we are become so busy in organizing the things, forget to invite many people.
I also think that we could have done a little better job with the organizing and giving tasks to certain people, saying that this is going to be their task, rather than including everyone at the ground level operations. We tried, whoever were helping us during the NPC, we had them both in the administration as well as the ground level operations. So I felt that shouldn't have been mixed. It would have been things would have been way more smoother if they were doing their own job and the others were also doing, the people on the ground were doing their own stuff. We had a little bit of confusions while allocating the speakers and their sessions, where the sessions are going to happen, because everybody was so busy with the tents, accommodation, transport and everything, that we completely forgot until the last minute which speaker needs to be in which room. Which it sounds so petty and silly, but that really happened on the first day. And from second day we were able to manage it quite well, but the first day was a little chaotic with
First parallel sessions.
Yeah, first day parallel sessions were a little chaotic, and we also felt that we wish we had more hands who don't have to work on the ground but just assist us with the other admin stuff and logistics for the speakers.
And also other challenge which we can think about, there's like here, if you want to communicate anything, no network, there is another biggest challenge. The communication became a difficult task when you organize at the like interior places.
Sorry, the challenge with the communication was to inform people of the event, or the communication within the organizing team?
Not with the event, I don't think we had much issues, but within the team we had issues with the communication, because wherever we are currently, we don't have a great network here. And if I'm working in the city where there's better Wi-Fi connection and I want to reach out, because the people who are working in the office in the city versus who are working on the ground, to reach out to them, there were days when I had to call like 9 people to reach out, because they're so busy at their work, they don't have their phones, and if they have their phones, there's no proper network. And it was a little stressful for the person on the other side to keep trying to call them, because there's something that's urgent that needs to be addressed. So that was I think one very big challenge that we faced.
We also had a lot of people when... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Amy. I will just finish this. And also because of the constraints with the accommodation, we first mentioned that the accommodation would be only provided for those who have done their PDCs, permaculture design course, because of the when we invite the general public to this place, if they don't know what kind of a space this is, it's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of like be it litter, because they don't know the importance of the space. They might not give as much respect as it deserves, be it from tossing the plastic or using the resources judiciously and all that, because the permaculture people are more concerned. They would be using the resources judiciously. They know how to be in this place. So we felt that because of the space constraint that we have, we thought that we could accommodate only 200 participants, which will do the permaculture participants, and the rest who are non-PDC or who haven't been to convergences like that, because they might have high expectations of being in a comfortable, luxurious room with air conditioning or geyser or anything of that sort, but we don't have all those facilities here. So only the permaculture people would know what kind of facilities we provide here, and they would be the ones who would adjust to what's here. So based on that, we thought, okay, we will accommodate only those who have done their permaculture design course and know this space better. But then it was very difficult for us to handle calls, in spite of mentioning that we will be only providing accommodation, because the accommodation is very limited here. We could only do 200. But there were a lot of requests from non-permaculture people that we want accommodation on the farm, like close by the farm. And when we suggested that you could go stay in the nearest town and they could they could stay in a hotel or somewhere where there's accommodation. They were not willing to do that. They wanted to stay on the farm. So it was very difficult to say no to a lot of people.
Not able to provide
accommodation. And we also were telling them, if it was in a city where there is no accommodation, you would have definitely gone and been in a hotel which is providing you food and accommodation. And why is that a difference? When you come to the farm, you wouldn't want to be outside, just 5 kilometers away from here. And irrespective of how many times we have addressed this, there was a lot of time that we had to spend on the phone saying no to people that we cannot accommodate. In spite, we still had to accommodate few people because they were just not hanging up the call for a very long time. So we still managed to do that. So that's been a very challenging issue.
That is also election time.
And also,
This period కూడా election time. Other people are
okay. So
bureaucrats and politicians.
there's also this was a time where there were elections going on, like choosing the head of the state of Telangana, where the political leader was going to be
Bureaucrats are busy with
selected.
that.
So the bureaucrats and all were busy with that, and some of the resources were we were not able to invite some local leaders of the place, be it the local district collector or anybody who's taking care of this particular area.
Invited, but they could not.
They could not attend the event because there was something bigger that is happening where the ministers of this state were being appointed. So that's one, not a big problem, but that's also something that we should have thought of during which time are we hosting the convergence.
But we don't know that. We don't know that the elections is going to be in the same dates, and not same dates. It's close by dates. Like the elections was held in the November 30th. Our event is happening 18th to 20th. It's like 10 days. That's why all the bureaucrats not able to attend the event. So that was like I don't know. Since 2017-16 also, whenever we plan these events, so that is the election time. Even IPC time also, we could not able to invite any political leader. There is the election code is there. This time also, we could not able to invite any political leader.
I think it segues nicely into the impact topic. So a lot of people are curious, and in the collab they chose one of these topics as a kind of focus. What are the difficulties in measuring the impact of the event for you? Like, have you measured impact? How are you measuring? Are you using any tools? What's the thought process?
We haven't used any tools so far. Like it's just like any projects that we we implement, and the last part, the monitoring and evaluation, is a slow process that we do, or sometimes we don't do. We have been talking to people. I mean, we have been taking feedbacks from people or testimonies of how things are, how better things could have been, and what could be that one thing that we would have made it better. So it's been more of a oral feedback, but not as a format as such.
So that's like another thing which we need to actually do now. So like there is a team is working on to prepare the questionnaire. What is the feedback of it, and once we send them, like we need to see how the response will come to measure that. That is the only thing which we have right now. Only free questionnaire. Not initiated, just started this week.
Do you feel that there's like using up all the energy for making the events, like organizing it and making it happen, and then that there's a bit of a drop in focus and energy available and having to deal with other things that weren't dealt with in the meantime, and so that affects sort of continuation of things that still need to be done? Or are there other things that are affecting this evaluation phase?
I think what you just said is what is happening. We were totally drained of the energies, like each one of us. We were completely drained because we were both emotionally and physically drained with a lot of work for the preparation of the NPC. And during the NPC was not so much, but until the first day we were so drained. And then everybody were looking forward for a break, and then now we are back energized with work, but we really needed that 1 week or 10 days of a break right after the NPC. Otherwise we were in a state that we felt that we would not function anymore if we wouldn't have taken that break. That is why we are now back up and writing the event notes, the report of the NPC, what happened, what actually happened during those 3 days, what were some things that could have been better. So that's a note that we are writing. Other than that, there's also the questionnaire that we are preparing. But because we took a break, and then we had 2 parallel events that we are conducting right now. So because we have these 2 parallel sessions that are going on currently, we are not able to give our 100% time to work on the questionnaires or to work on the event note. Though we have delegated it to someone who's helping us out with that, the people who have been here during the NPC. It is happening, but
in the slow phase.
in a very slow phase where there's no hurry. And also another challenge that we forgot to mention was the audio visuals, the videos that were being documented during the sessions. So we had some of our other, again, they're also the PDC participants who volunteered to shoot the entire event. We have the raw footage now, but we are again, because even they needed a break, so they left Aranya, they went back to their own places. So we are waiting for them to come back and do the video editing and giving us the compilations of the videos that of the panel sessions or the keynote speakers. And we've been having a lot of requests from the participants, when are the videos going to be uploaded, put it up on the website. And we haven't started yet because the person who's supposed to do it is going to be back later after a week or something. So there is a lag in that work also. So once somebody leaves from this place where the work is supposed to happen, it is hard to pull them back, station them. So we are trying to get them back as soon as possible so we can push things and they can move forward fast.
They get sucked into the big world, big wide world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
Was there any challenge around, so you're now in this phase of defining the what questions to ask, what feedback is you want to get from people. Is there a gap between the objectives that you had for the event and what happened and what you can now harvest? Or do you feel that there is a continuation? So your focus being food production and the future culture and everything else that you pulled in, and bringing people together again. Is that something was well defined? Was the team clear about the objectives? And so they're also clear of what to find out how those objectives were reached with the participation of people?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, I think yes. And also there is continuation. We have been in contact with everybody who has come, and because we have asked them to form regional groups where we can continuously communicate with them and get back information from them on what they're doing in this, from the learnings that they've got during the NPC, specifically focusing on those who were into the field of food, food and beverage industry, or be it nutritionist, or be it anybody who's working on the land, or be it food entrepreneurs. So we have formed them into different groups state-wise, so we can have that easy access of what they are doing, how they are trying to incorporate what learnings they have during the convergence here. That I think that is an easy way that we have, where we can communicate, be in constant touch with them, and they have become very active as well after the NPC. They've become active, communicating a lot of things of what has happened, and we see that people have been connecting. Anything that they see, anything that they experience, they've been connecting to the talk that so and so speaker has given, or to that example of so and so speaker has given. So they are getting references from the talks, and they are also researching more on what is actually happening, because they got a lot of information here. They're also cross-checking how is that really happening in in the outside world, and they are in fact ticking their boxes that yes, that is happening, and they will work, strive harder to work for it.
Great.
I had a question, because that's the third, I think so, third NPC that you are organizing, and I've organized also the IPC. So like for the organization of those convergence, Aranya is really like the leader in India, and I was wondering if you are at a stage as well of trying to find other leading people or leading organization that could participate in keeping on building those communities that you are talking about, like the big Indian communities, but also those states communities.
So unlike a lot of people now have also started their own non-profit organizations like Aranya, those who have done their PDC at Ananya, and they have chosen different areas. Some of them are working with Northeast India, which is your upper belt. They're working with the Northeast Indian areas. So they have an organization there where they're working with the community in the Northeast. And we have organization based out of Bangalore, which is working with the communities there. So they are all permaculture based organizations, be it for profit or non-profit. So I think there are now organizations who can team up together and get resources. So like one of the sessions they've taken during this PDC, though they are alumni of Aranya, they've presented as on behalf of their organization, and they've taken a session on decolonizing permaculture, and they spoke about how the impact of their work in Northeast is. So we are in the South, so we are not all over India. We're just in the South, but I think this is expanding to other areas as well. People who think that they're capable of doing big things, they are forming organizations and they are doing some great work. That is something that we have noticed during this PDC. So it's not just Aranya, but there are also more budding organizations, permaculture organizations that are coming up. However, not as much work as Aranya does, because they're still starting, but they're still doing a great job. Everything starts from small, so they are still in that stage. I hope they all would flourish and do some great work. But it's a good sign that there are a lot of people who are working with the communities in different areas as organizations. Yeah.
Thank you. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And also, if you see, like many of them, they started sharing their permaculture experience with the local languages. And recently, the books has been published in Telugu. And then it's also like whatever the permaculture is talking about, not only the English, it is translating in Hindi and Malayalam and different local languages. So that is another sign which we can see. material is availability, and then there is many YouTube films based on the Indian experiences.
And you were saying that each time you had difficulties to get political leaders to come because of election, for example. But do you still feel that those convergence have enough echo that they, even though they didn't participate, that that's something they know about that has been happening? And are things changing at a political level, like regarding permaculture?
So there is a big, what is that, Haran? Big talks are going on about the permaculture, because the permaculture concept was adopted by the big political leaders, and then big actors, big film actors. So there is so much of hype is happening about the permaculture. Not hype, really they are implementing.
So although they're not necessarily showing face at the event, there is some sort of absorbing and consideration.
Yes. And also political leaders have not attended during the event, but there is a Telangana minister for local Telangana Rashtra Samiti party minister has come to Aranya and invited all the women here. He visited personally to this farm and the community lands.
Do they also support financially a little bit the event, or no?
No. This time, no government support. So now the entire system has been changed. When the elections are happening, no fund, like no money, and government is not spending any money for the any training programs and other things. Whatever the money is coming out, just they are sharing with the farmers for the crop management.
You're muted, Javier. Maybe you had a question? You're muted.
Is he on the phone, maybe?
Maybe. That's possible.
Xavier, can you hear us?
It doesn't look like it.
Okay.
Was there anything else, Candida, that we needed to cover?
Well, we've pretty much covered those two kickoff questions topics. I'm curious about so many other things, like hearing about funding for farmers and wondering, okay, how are the farmers, are they coming to these events? Like when you say there's a local community that's cooking for the event, that they're there, maybe they're accommodating people, lending tents. How is this connection with the farmers? Thinking farmers that are not necessarily identifying themselves as permaculture practitioners, but maybe they are. Just curious about how that, if because they're receiving funding from the government programs.
This time, government has not supported for any of the farmers to come and participate, because even we have not approached also. Because if you organize a big event, it is very difficult for us to accommodate all the people at the farm here. That's why we are not focused on the local, inviting local people on the large scale. So that is local bureaucrats and local community also. So that is number one. And the community from the Bidakanna village and other wherever Aranya has been working. So from the 15 villages during the preparations, they came, each of the women group, around 30 to 40 women, they came and they worked for us. They worked for arranging and organizing many things. Like that, there are 10 days. Each of the day, around 30 to 40 women has come from the different villages. They helped us to carry out many of the arrangements. For the participation, every day there is a one, the leaders has come from the different villages. Around 15 villages, the leaders has come. From Adilabad, Adilabad, like where other tribal women, from there we could able to invite 15 people. So like everything, we need to precise planning. If you want to organize in the large scale, we need to have a resources also. That much we don't have.
And registration. We made one thing with the money is that we wanted the NPC to be accessible to everyone, because if we quote the charges to be so high, we will not have enough attendance. Our main motto, one of the important things that we are hosting the National Permaculture Convergence, is also to bring in more people of all economic status. It's not just people who can afford, but also people who are not able to afford. So that is why we made sure that we are just asking them to pay minimum amount of certain things, which is covering for their accommodation and food, maybe a little extra, but not more than what is needed. So if we look at the registration fee that we have received versus the expenditure, then it is not the same. It is what we got and what we spent is two different things, where we ended up spending more, but also like there are many people who have come forward to donate for different things, be it for audio visuals like speakers, be it for projectors, be it for food for a day. They were taking care of food for one day, that they were donating food for that one, the food cost for that one day. So we had good donations that we have received from people as well. That is how we were able to make up the costs that we couldn't receive with the registrations.
These women that came to help prepare from the different women groups, was there like an exchange with them? What was the benefit for them?
Because like they are associated with Aranya in the different activities in implementation. Aranya has shared the seeds. Aranya has provided the saplings to them. There's many kinds of things for supporting to the women farmers from the Aranya. So that's why they came. Like there is a 15 villages Aranya is working in this area. So during the leaders meeting, they agreed. So each of the women group will come for one day, and they'll spend a day in organizing the things, preparations, and then they'll go by evening. So for the transportation, we provided for them, we provided support, transportation, and then whatever the minimum wage that is being paid, that has been paid. But right now the scenario is the labor availability become a very difficult task in the in this area. Not only in this area, entire India, you can see, maybe especially in Telugu, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, working people is not available. That become very tough task. And then that is the strength of the community has come and worked for us.
I have actually coming back to the question of the impact, and that you're now in this phase of creating a way to harvest, the impacts, the feedback from people. We actually might have something to share with you that could help. So Amy, within our research, Amy was doing a check of which were the tools that would better fit, so ethical tools that would better fit the needs of what we are doing, which is also data collection. So we're using a form, and we're going to then do the data analysis partially with this form tool. So this could be something that, because you're in that phase, we can share this information with you. It might help. What do you think, Amy?
Sure, that would be.
Yeah. It's something that's available to everybody. It's one of our, what are they called? Assets, project assets.
Help చేస్తామంటున్నారా?
There's also an opportunity to get some consultation on monitoring and evaluation and impact measurement from a project in the collab called Permaculture Impact. I can share information and put you in touch with the person who runs that project. And she'll be able to, you can organize a call with her. She'll be able to help you, and the work is also funded through the Next Steps project. So she's looking at the moment for suitable candidates for this, yeah.
Sure.
I think it's also,
Great.
you've highlighted issues that are common between convergence organizers, and that it's very difficult to make an event successful, financially successful, and there's always trade-offs to be made there. So I think you're not alone in this struggle, and this is why this research project is being done, so that we can help to spotlight the biggest issues across, not only in one geographical area, but across the world, and also come up with some strategies on how to meet these challenges. So thank you for sharing that with us. I know that talking about money is not easy in almost in all cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for being candid and wanting to talk about it.
Thank you. Thank you.
You will hear more from us.
Anything, Anai?
No, I'm so happy that I got the chance to listen to you, and now I'm like, things that you said are sitting in my mind. That's what I was saying, but I will have to leave now. But I really feel lucky that I've been able to listen to you, and if anything comes to my mind, like for you, Candida and Amy, because I know a bit about the research, I'll come to you with some thoughts. But I would have to leave now, if that's okay.
Of course. Thank you for being here and for suggesting it. Actually, the idea of bringing Padma and team in was from you. So thank you for that as well. And
talk to you next week for the IPCC member. Yeah. And soon, Padma, if you're joining next week.
Yes. Thank
Bye.
you. Nice to see you.
Have a nice day.
And your son. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Xavier, we still can't
Bye.
hear you. You seem to be talking,
Bye.
but we can't hear you. No, I don't know.
I think he's not talking to us.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video cast, and then we can follow up. We'll follow up with an email with our shared resources. Maybe also a link to our funding database, which you might, if you're looking for funding specific aspects of your project, you could also have a look there. And Since I think you're already on the Colab Slack, but if you're a Colab member, then you could also apply or fill in the funding questionnaire and join potentially in the future a joint funded application when there is one next that fits within what you're asking for.
And
Sure.
I can find this on the Slack, you said, right?
It's in the funding
On the Slack, Amy?
circles. Yes, on Slack,
Circles,
funding
okay.
circle channel.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
We'll follow up by email, then we'll give you all the links anyway.
Sure.
Sure,
That would
sure.
be great. Yeah.
And
Sure.
Sure.
All right.
okay.
Thanks.